Lady Charmaine, and my guest today is an NAACP Image Award nominated producer for his hit television show, The Soul Man, starring Cedric the Entertainer. And he has produced films like The Johnson Family Vacation, The Honeymooners, and Shaq and Cedric the Entertainer Presents All-Star Comedy Jam. And he also serves as commissioner on the Board of Tourism for his home state of Missouri. And today he's here to talk about the success of The Soul Man and tips on how you can make it in Hollywood. Help me welcome Mr. Eric C. Rhone to the show. Welcome, Eric, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show because I have to say I love The Soul Man. I think it's one of my wonderful pleasures that I watch in my studio because I actually sit and watch TVland.com. And so that's how I watch The Soul Man in my studio while I'm working.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun on The Soul Man.
And I know that The Soul Man is going to be returning for a second season, so I'm really excited about that. So can you tell us what we can be expecting to see in the second season?
In the second season, we will go dive a little bit more into the relationship between Lolly and Boyce. Lolly obviously is played by, Boyce is played by Cedric the Entertainer, and Lolly is lovely wife. You know who she's played by, right? Who is she played by? Just to make sure you're up on The Soul Man.
Niecy Nash.
There you go. Niecy Nash. So you never thought this interview would turn around, did you? But anyway, so Niecy Nash plays Lolly. And the second season will definitely explore more into their relationship, how the impact of becoming a preacher and a pastor of a church versus Boyce's former life as an R&B soul singer, just how that is all, that kind of difference in lifestyle impacts the family and in particularly their relationship. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, how did you and Cedric come up with the idea for the show Soul Man? Because really, the story is really true to life. A lot of people who sang, secular music in the world, some people had successful careers, some people didn't have so successful careers, but yet they felt the call of God into ministry. So where did your storyline come from? Did you know anybody that had that storyline and you decided to turn it into a TV show?
Well, the storyline originated from a character Cedric played on Hot in Cleveland. On this particular episode, Betty White was getting married on Hot in Cleveland, and they came to us about Cedric playing the pastor or the priest that would marry Betty and her fiance. And so we did that episode, and the creator of Hot in Cleveland, Suzanne Martin, came to us and really enjoyed working with Cedric, and the two of them created The Soul Man. The two of them are creators of our show, and we wrote a script. We all liked the script. We took it into TV Land. They loved it, and that's how the show was created. Obviously, there are a lot of, particularly African-American singers that actually got their start in the church, whether it's Aretha Franklin or Whitney Houston, or so many of our other entertainers actually got their first start singing in church. And so we've kind of seen this before, where you start off in one genre, then you end up in another. This just happens to be reversed, where Cedric starts off as an R&B singer, and then he ends up pastoring the church here in St. Louis. So it's really a great storyline. It allows us to explore our spiritual existence as well as our human existence. And often those two existences or experiences can be in conflict. And I think that's where you find the comedy for our show.
Well, it's a great show, so I must say. And the show is so great because it had such great success. You're nominated for NAACP Image Award. How does that make you feel knowing you're nominated for an Image Award after your first season?
I feel really, really good. It's good that the NAACP and the executives at the NAACP recognize the show, recognize the characters and the material, and it's good that the audience finds that we can laugh and be very humorous, and at the same time be very proud or have a lot of pride in terms of the images that we project on television. So we both, Stan and I, and everybody in the cast and everybody behind the scenes are so proud and just ecstatic that we were recognized by the NAACP. As a matter of fact, Ted has actually 4 NAACP Image Awards for his work on the Steve Harvey Show. And so it really feels good to see Cedric nominated, his show nominated. He's the lead actor and the foundation of the show.
That is great. Now, you and Cedric are business partners. How did you and Cedric come together and just create this great marriage and entertainment to produce such great work?
Well, Cedric and I initially met at college, so we were college buddies, graduated from school. We both worked in corporate America at separate jobs, and this was back in the late 80s, I would say, mid to late 80s. And we would do, local shows around St. Louis, and Sid would do the stand-up and entertaining, and I would create the deal with the venue owners, or we would, rent hotel ballrooms and give shows. And so we kind of grew that business to a point where we had to really make a decision whether we were going to stay on our corporate jobs or indeed get into the entertainment industry. So obviously we decided both to quit our jobs, and we, with a lot of faith and prayer and luck and blessings and just a lot of goodwill, we went in and drove out to Hollywood, actually. We drove from St. Louis, drove out to Hollywood, and met some great folks, and did a lot of networking, a lot of knocking on doors, and just, that tenacity and focus and drive that you have to make it in any business. We employed those same characteristics for our own business. And thank God it's been a great ride.
And that was one of my next questions. How did you get from St. Louis to Hollywood? And so you just told that story for me. Now, all of us know that Soul Train was a part of the African-American household. I mean, ever since I was a little girl. And, growing up on Saturdays, you did not go outside and play until Soul Train was over. And you had the opportunity in 2012 to produce the Soul Train Awards. And Cedric hosted the awards. So how did you even come about producing the Soul Train Awards?
Well, we knew the folks over at Centric. Paxton Baker is the CEO of Centric, so we knew Paxton for a long time. And as you said, we're all a part of Soul Train, and we're raised on Soul Train. And you're right, no one ever left their house until Soul Train went off. That was a place where we could see entertainers and stars that reflected our race and our culture and our values. And so what Dr. Cornelius was able to establish was to really give hope and aspiration to a couple of generations of African Americans, actually. And so we knew that the Soul Train Awards existed. So when Paxton called me and inquired about Cedric hosting the show, I told Paxton it was something we would love to do. However, Bird Bear, that's Cedric and I, that's our entertainment company, our production company. I told Centric the only way that could happen is that Bird Bear would have to executive produce the show as well. Because we felt that it was important that we had, Cedric's imprint, his brand, and his sensibility on the show beyond just another hosting gig. And so we got in business with the officials at Soul Train and with Centric, and we did a deal. And the first year we did it in Atlanta. It was great. We had a great experience. And then the second year, as you know, we did it in Las Vegas, which in my opinion, really took it to the next level.
You are truly a businessman. I know Cedric is so blessed to have you, because not only they just called for him to host, but you took it to a whole nother level and no, we need to executive produce this thing so he can have his stamp. So I can really hear that you really do have Cedric's back in his best interest. That was great. That was a great business move. I like that.
Thank you.
Are you going to be producing any more of the Soul Train Awards?
Well, we're currently waiting on. Everybody's kind of in negotiation phases of that particular deal. So I'm pretty sure we can get a deal done. But you got to go through the business before you can get to the show. A lot of folks, because it's called show business, they think about the show and not the business. I'm the type of person I always think about the business and then the show. And so we're currently entering into negotiations with the officials and executives at Soul Train as well as BET Centric. So because we've all done business for years together, it's a pretty easy negotiation. We kind of all know numbers and that sort of thing. So I would imagine that we will be hosting at least a couple of more years of Soul Train along with Centric.
Shoot, Eric, I like you. I like the way you think. He's said it's show business. I like you. I need to talk to you a little bit more. So for the listeners that are listening right now, you are truly talking to a businessman in the show business. What advice can you give to people that's trying to enter into this show business? You gave us a tip. You look at the business part. So what tips can you give for those who are listening right now that want to break into maybe be a producer or an actor? You have any tips you can give?
Well, I think to start with just a core foundation of education. Whether it's important to get some college experience and some exposure. I think any type of formal education is always a good plus, not a necessity. However, it's good training. The second thing I would say is just to do it. But what I've found is that a lot of people have dreams, they have aspiration, they may even have a plan, but they never execute. They never actually get up and write that script or get up and research how to write a script. They have a great idea or a book or a song or sing but you have to. The first thing is to pray on it, have faith, but then faith without works is what?
Dead.
So you gotta do the work. And so, but people, what I found in my travels, and we're talking to a lot of people that are very talented and really are smart, but what they lack is that they don't do the work. Mm-hmm. And so I would encourage people to actually follow your dreams, like literally follow your dreams. When I was growing up, that was more of a cliche. I would follow your dreams, but I think in today's world, with the impact of technology, with what social media has granted us, being able to access your followers or your audience or your clients or your customers, being able to impact people through webisodes and internet and all this kind of stuff, I think you can literally get out there and create your own business empire, your own business community, and begin to get your works or your brand or what you're passionate about out to the public. And so, but it starts with just getting up and actually doing it. And then once you do that, once you try to create a pattern of actual doing something, you'll look back and you'll begin to build a business, which will eventually build a career. And that's what it's all about. But it starts with that passion. It starts with doing the work.
It's funny because I speak at colleges, and everything you just said is what I talk about. Because anybody that knows me personally, okay, after you told me twice, I'm only going to let you tell me your dream and vision 2 times. That's it. The first time, that's great. The second time, the third time, if you're not doing anything about it, I don't want to hear about it, because there's other stuff that I could be doing. So if that's something that you really want to do, what steps are you taking? Anybody that knows me personally, they know once I tell you something, I'm actually working on it while I'm telling you. So before you know it, you're going to see it come to pass. I don't just talk about it. I'm that person that bees about it. And that's just my mindset. So if I'm not interested in it, you'll know. And I can tell you straight up, oh, I'm not interested in that. I have people come to me all the time with their grandiose business ideas almost every day. I'm not interested. But if I am, I will take it and I will take off with it. So I know where my strength, where my strength lies. And so after you told me twice, you're not doing anything, then I don't want to hear about it anymore until you start working on it. So thank you for sharing that.
That's why you are a success. That's why you are a successful person with your own show, and I'm on your show, because you actually did what you wanted to do. And people, they get stuck at that first step of actually doing it. Mm-hmm. And once you overcome that, I think getting your goals accomplished become a lot more easier as you accomplish one goal.
And that is so true. Now, I want to know, you are such a successful entrepreneur. What do you attribute to your own personal success?
Obviously, a lot of faith, a lot of being raised by faith parents, and my oldest brother is a minister, being raised in the church. We kind of have that strong Midwest Bible Belt foundation in our background. Couple that with just a lot of hard work, and I think if you get God and you get some tenacity to get something done, then you've got a powerful combination. And so I found myself when I went to Hollywood initially, many years ago, that you go into these meetings and there's agents and there's all these folks that know everybody and they know all the names and they know how to talk the business, and it could have served as a little intimidating because you don't know. You don't know from St. Louis, you're not from California. However, the thing I knew I had was I had my faith, and I knew that no one would outwork me. So although they may have had the contacts, they had the lingo and they knew how to do what they did. I knew that I brought a work ethic that could not be surpassed. And so if you were more connected than me, I outworked you. If you were more intelligent about the entertainment business again, I outworked you. If you had the connections more than I did, I went to work and I just literally outworked everybody. And so it's that type of tenacity that I bring to each deal, that no matter who's in the room, the one thing I know I'm going to do is I will definitely outwork you. And I think that is a strong determining factor in terms of success.
Now, see, I'm so glad you said that. BET ran, the whole Roots Marathon. I think they called it Roots Relived on Christmas Eve and on Christmas. So, of course, I was in front of that television, me and my kids, because I was using it as a great history lesson. And I when Roots first aired, I was much younger. It aired on a Sunday, and I won the quiet seat at church. So I'm just a kid eating my little cookies, watching Roots. It's amazing to watch it now in my 40s, all the life lessons you can learn. And one of the gentlemen in Roots, I will never forget. I use that as an example to my kids when we were watching it. When he, instead of him being axed, he worked himself into a job. There was a lumber yard. A man quit. He went over there, put all the lumber together, showed the lumber owner, and the lumber owner gave him the job because he said he means on moving forward. Well, now we're going to flash forward from just what he did, worked himself into a job. He ended up owning the lumber yard. And when you said no one is going to outwork you, that's a work ethic that I think a lot of people are missing, is the work, because success is described, is hidden behind some overalls because nobody wants to work when they see overalls. And I'm glad you said that.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that, and people get confused working hard and working smart. Working hard doesn't mean you have to put in 23 hours a day for 10 years. It also means using your brain and being focused in terms of what your goals are. And so it's important that you work hard and you also work smart. And so that, I think a lot of times people say, well, how hard do I want to work for this? Don't get bogged down by how many hours and minutes and that kind of thing. Working hard means staying focused to the task. So an example, if there was something about the entertainment industry that I didn't quite understand, and even becoming a producer, then I did the research. I did the research on what a producer does, what a executive producer does, to the point where no matter what room I was in, I could communicate effectively and pretty much take over a conversation on how to produce and how to produce smarter, more economically feasible. So those are the types of traits that I mean when I say working hard, that if I'm in a room, when I open up my mouth, I can captivate the audience because I've done the work. And it's that type of focus that you have to have that will definitely begin to expose you to a wider audience or to a higher level of executives that really run this business. So really run the entertainment business. So that work ethic is what prepares you for your opportunity to be successful.
That's great. And one thing I like about you, Eric, is that not only did you learn the business in Hollywood, but you still kept your ties to the state of Missouri. Why was that so important to you?
Well, we knew early on that, we had a general sense of what entertainment and fame could do and what it couldn't do. And what it could do was obviously you can make a great living in terms of economics. Fame can allow you exposure and notoriety. But what Hollywood has failed to do, or what I should say we have failed to do in Hollywood, is to have power. And one of the reasons why we fail to have power is because Hollywood is so vast and it's big and there's a lot of folks, right? A lot of moving parts. So instead of becoming a big fish in a small pond, you just become a fish in a big pond. What's attractive about St. Louis and Missouri, where we're from, is that that type of notoriety, that economic success, and that exposure allows you to have greater impact here in Missouri than we ever could in California. And so for me, it was important that I kept my base here in St. Louis. Well, Cedric's base is in California because he's a star. But as a businessman, it's important that I kept my base in St. Louis so I can be more impactful from a power standpoint here in Missouri. And I understood early on that, you know, in terms of where we are in the history of today, that although we may have economic success, notoriety, fame, what we lack is power. And hopefully generations to come, beyond Sid and I, beyond Oprah, obviously not comparing ourselves to Oprah, but even beyond Oprah and Bill Cosby, very, very obviously successful, powerful people, yet not in a position to absolutely greenlight movie, TV shows, etc. Oprah is, I guess, because she has her own network. So we see the growth there. However, not in a position to really affect a large population of African Americans as it relates to the entertainment business. There's always another step or two above them, be it Viacom, King's World, Universal, all these kind of big multi-international conglomerates. So we're still on that path to recognize how does our economic success, how does our exposure, our fame, our intelligence, our education, how does all those things equate to true power? And so it was important to me to stay in a place where I could have more power, more influence, more true decision-making ability than I ever could in California.
And you have great influence, speaking of finances and what you do. You're a commissioner on the Board of Tourism for the state of Missouri. So you help to bring in money into St. Louis. So what made you want to be on the board?
Yeah, I've been on the Board of Tourism for, 5 years now, appointed by Governor Jay Nixon, the governor of Missouri. Appointed me on the board. That is an all-appointment board by the governor. So although I represent the St. Louis metropolitan area, we are responsible as commissioners for driving tourism to the state of Missouri. And we do pretty well. I mean, the one thing about Missouri is kind of right in the middle of the nation. And so our feeder states, whether it's Tennessee or Oklahoma or Illinois, you know, we call them feeder states that touch our state. St. Louis does get a lot of traffic through St. Louis. As a matter of fact, we've got the biggest faith-based, African faith-based.
You do.
That's in St. Louis. So this is their third year coming up, and we're happy to have it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because the Church of God in Christ convention is held there now, so that is huge. And then
the convocation. They came to us a couple of years ago after over 100 years in Memphis, Tennessee. So, and they are currently the largest convention in the St. Louis metropolitan area by far.
Wow.
So we are happy and ecstatic to have them.
And then also, too, you have the wonderful TV show, Welcome to Sweetie Pies, that drives people into St. Louis because many people want to come to her restaurants.
Yep. Sweetie Pies has become a landmark. Folks come from all over the world to come to Sweetie Pies. Great family over there, too. They've been doing that for years. So it was good. We're very happy with the Oprah Network and OWN and those folks who are coming in and continue to put St. Louis on the map.
Yes, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I mean, you are just so, you have a whole lot of depth to you, because you also have the National African American Tourism Commission, the Take Power, Take Control initiative that you have going on. You have so much going on. So you're not a man who just talk about it, but you're literally being about it, you know, being empowered and empowering other people.
Thank you very, very much. I think that at the end of the day, that's my true calling, beyond Hollywood, to empower people to follow their dreams and get involved. I think that's where I'm at.
So if somebody wanted to follow you, do you have a website? Are you on Twitter, Facebook? If some people just want to follow you?
I just give out my email address. I sometimes, Twitter and Facebook. I have a teenage son, so he's all over that stuff. So I said, well, I better not get on there because they may confuse me with him. But with him and his friends. So, I do have an email address, and folks just, I kind of do it one-on-one. So if someone wants to email me at Eric, ERIC, at Bird, BIRD, Air, DEARENT.com. Feel free.
All right. Thank you so much, Eric. It was a pleasure having you on the show, and I look forward to having you back again.
Thank you. I look forward to it, and have a blessed and happy 2013.
You too, sir, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.